We got some big news in the Republican presidential race. A lot of you are already commenting about it, so let's get to it. Ron DeSantis is out. Here's some of what he said in a video posted to X. Take a look.
Now, following our second place finish in Iowa, we've prayed and deliberated on the way forward. If there was anything I could do to produce a favorable outcome, more campaign stops, more interviews, I would do it. But I can't ask our supporters to volunteer their time and donate their resources if we don't have a clear path to victory. Accordingly, I am today suspending my campaign.
He also posted this quote, which he said was from Winston Churchill, but turns out it is not. Ron also endorsed Trump, saying it was because we, quote, cannot go back to the old Republican guard of yesteryear. So what do we all think of this? What went wrong, in your opinion, Al, with Ron DeSantis? Because in the very beginning, he had some pretty high numbers.
It looked like he was the next. And I think the more the base had a chance to look at him and look at Trump and see how he was handling his scandals, they were like, no, we're going to stay with Trump forever. This is a person, Ron DeSantis, that probably did the most exhaustive canvassing of a state that we've ever seen. He threw all his money, all his time into Iowa. He tried to go hard against woke. He went hard against Disney. He went hard against all these issues that he thought his voting base cared about. Every single one. He passed legislation more than a lot of cases that Trump did. But Erica, it's like I always say, we talk about issues and voter turnout. Some candidates just make people feel. Obama made people feel when he ran. You saw people crying when he was elected. Trump makes people feel, no matter how you feel. I bet you feel something, whether you love him or you hate him, he makes people feel. And when DeSantis is giving his speech, it's just like, well, what did Jeff do this weekend? I'm just thinking about other things. Yeah. Because these candidates, it really boils down to a very primal thing, and we can't ever put our finger on it, so we try and talk around it with numbers.
Oh, Erica, tell us. Come on, Erica, don't hold back.
It's honestly, I think what Al is saying is so spot on that this isn't even political.
I don't think it is either.
This is about human nature. Because what I see since the very beginning in the primaries, whether it was Vivek, whether it's Nikki, whether it's Ron, you cannot be a cheap version of someone else, period. People try so hard to set templates. Like, you see something that's successful, and think about it in social media. Someone has a successful run is putting themselves forward in this way. Then you see thousands of people mimic them in order to try to catch that lightning in a bottle. That lightning in a bottle is gone. The most effective thing that you can do in order to garner people who truly are going to have your back through everything is be yourself and hope that people like it and connect with it.
So do you think that, to Erica's point, that Ron DeSantis should have gone harder against Trump to kind of carve his own lane?
Maybe make a name for himself. He was kind of repeating what Trump was doing. I'm going to give it to an example, because examples always work for me, right? You know when you fall in love on spring break or vacation and you're like, this is the person I've been waiting for, and every single day is perfect for 5 days? That was Ron DeSantis during the pandemic. We were all locked down. Our tensions were high. He was handling it totally different. He had some answers for the woke thing, which was annoying to a lot of people. They're like, man, this is the guy. And then you wake up a couple months later and you're like, did this person always talk like this? What was I thinking? Yeah. And that's Ron DeSantis. The more you got to know him, he was like the rabbi from Seinfeld. Well, Elaine. That's why I was trying to put my finger on it. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Google the rabbi from Seinfeld. Yes. That's who he sounds like.
Right.
And he just doesn't capture, to Al's point, he doesn't capture that. Whatever you're feeling with Trump, whether you hate him or love him, you feel something with Trump. And with this Ron, you're like, how am I getting out of this one?
Right.
You know?
It's a microcosm of our country. I mean, somebody has 91 indictments and you're like, oh, but he makes me feel. That's alarming to me. But I totally agree with all of your points of view. Okay, so this means now that the Republican presidential race is essentially down to just two people, Donald Trump and Nikki Haley. Tomorrow is the big primary in New Hampshire. Haley was there this weekend campaigning with help from Judge Judy. Trump is leading in the polls there. So, Erica, do you think that Nikki has a chance here? Or do you think she's going to bow out? Do you think her recent video that's gone viral, that America is not a racist country, is going to hurt her? Are you batting your eyes?
That's the answer right there.
Yeah. The bar is in hell. It really is. I mean, there's no other way to talk about it. It's like, how...
It says a lot.
The bar is in hell.
It is.
Well, the fact that we're still
Erica
having
Cobb.
this conversation in 2024, and we have somebody that wants to be the leader of the free world that refuses to acknowledge that racism has existed in a country
And this
in
is
which
the best and
chattel
brightest.
slavery existed, it's the kind of thing where, you know, you guys are married, that if you're in a relationship and you even have to have a conversation this baseline, like, oh, you don't want me to cheat when I go out of town. Okay, well, if you have to have that conversation, you're not really in the mix. And what Nikki Haley's doing is that she's showing she's not ready for prime time. Her people, if they knew that they were going to push against racism, which is an interesting angle, should have had a more nuanced answer ready to go than just like, you know, the Civil War was just about states' rights. You know, you have no backup for that.
Right.
You're a foot from being president. And so I think her people failed her. I think obviously her answer is ridiculous. But if you are going to do that, first of all, you're going to lose a lot of people that were considering voting for you.
She could actually speak to it. You know,
Right.
She grew up as a brown girl, Indian. Her parents are from India, and her real name is not Nikki Haley. I don't know how to pronounce her actual name, and shame on me for saying that out loud, but it's true. But that would just give her more relatability. Like, I grew up like this. People couldn't pronounce my name. At least she could have spoken to that. And I think a lot of people would have.
But Sam, here's the issue. She can't speak to it because she's making a name for herself through assimilation.
Right.
That's the thing that we can't say out loud, but I don't have an issue saying it because apparently the Civil War wasn't about racism. When you are in a position to align yourself with close proximity to white, then you can assimilate out of racism. That's what she's saying.
Yeah.
That's the reason why she can't say the words, because she's living it. I'm just calling it how I'm seeing it.
I'm glad you are. Thank you for that.